Welcome back, everybody, to this State of the Canyon, as it were, for Friday, the 27th of May. Let's just get this out of the way. This hasn't moved. I haven't touched any of that. The stuff that I did pre-place, that hasn't moved either. I don't think I've laid hands on a piece of concrete this week. And I mean, I feel like it's an acceptable reason, excuse, whatever it is. My son's high school graduation is imminent, and there will be, of course, festivities accompanying this. So my wife said to me last weekend, and I quote, "I just want the yard to look nice." That was it. Now, for those among us that can read the subtext, there's some hard-coded subtext there. So the general agreement has been for many moons, this fence here, which just used to be chain link and then became cedar over chain link some time ago. What goes on the other side of the fence is her stuff, and what goes on this side of the fence is my stuff. That's why I get permission to do, you know, all this kind of nonsense. Most folks won't let you pile up tons and tons of material in their yard. So I haven't done much except try to keep the pond filled with water and just concede defeat, to just give the victory to this thing, because I feel like it defies all manner of physics in that for every flower it blooms, it drops two. It's like yellow snow. And I have raked this up more than once this week. Taking the blower to it, you name it. It just keeps going. So what we're gonna do, as you know, responsibilities continue and adulting is required, is we are going to grab the three rigs that were the focus of the week, oddly enough all containing Traxxas TRX4 gearboxes, and we're going to wheel them around on some rocks over here for reasons that I will explain once this camera is set up. So I apologize in advance should any loud noises begin to occur. As ASAP Ferg once said, I gotta close the window because New York don't know how to be quiet. Unfortunately, I can't close a window. I'm outside. So at some point it's gonna be loud. I don't think the local yappers have been fed yet. So they will make their presence known sooner or later. Of course, Rusty, who since his last appearance, since that recording of episode 2, every link is changed. The front upper is still a 4mm turnbuckle, but the wheelbase basically got stretched out to 12.5 inches. Because I realized that with the AR-45 and the Traxxas gearbox, the front upper link was too short at the wheelbase that I built it at. So I stretched the wheelbase out as much as I comfortably could in order to lengthen that upper link, and then I basically dialed that upper link to make it to where the panhard mount just clears the shock body by a millimeter. So, you know, in the potential future spending list for Rusty will be some just, you know, like some kind of internally sprung shock. I don't know if desert lizards are completely necessary. These work. It seems a shame to use them for, you know, they're not internally sprung shocks. I think they could serve more purpose on a different rig. That seems like a good spot. Second up, and what could end in tears here is during the week, after Daphne had gotten the AG Innovations Ninja speed control for Outrunner, and I determined that she no longer needed something as pokey as a 900, I ordered the incorrect Outrunner for a drone. The shaft went the wrong way, so I took the motor apart and took some 5mm drill rod and built my own center shaft for the motor, turning it around so that, you know, it can be mounted in car configuration, I guess we'll call it. So this has a 1400 kV, $20.88 drone motor. And will it will it stay together is the question, because most of them, they're captive on one end. They use set screws at one end of the shaft, and I have done that. I have replaced the set screws, but at the other end of the shaft, they generally have an E-clip or a circlip or something. I don't really have the tooling to make a land for a circlip, so what I did is I cut the shaft and then I placed the pinion in the correct position to mesh with the spur gear. And then I measured the distance between the front of the motor case and the pinion, and I turned an aluminum spacer of that size. So effectively the pinion is what's holding the motor shaft on. Is this a good idea? I don't know. It's odd. What I need to try is the bump, because the 900 had no bump. Oh, it's a lot better, for sure. Yeah, I definitely have more wheel speed. Yeah, that's good. So long as that motor doesn't fall apart, I think we're in business. I'll see if I can't get a better look at it here after we bring out the. Nope. That was the wrong spot to try to make the home servo try to stop chattering. Let's put her this way. Come on, just find center. There we go. There we go. Third up on the week is, of course, the, I guess we could call it the biggest project. You can kind of see it there. I'll get some close-ups. A rear bumper has been fitted. A front bumper has been fitted. I have now determined that the rear foams are potentially too soft, because I had purchased the foams after test driving it when it just had the cab of a K10 on it. And now it's got a 20-ounce body, so it's a little heavier. So this has never been driven with these bumpers mounted. This is the first wheel. This is the first wheel for Daphne with the motor, the first wheel for Rusty in its current setup. I replaced the sliders as well, and the first wheel for Jolly Green with his bumpers. And I thought quite a bit about attempting to fabricate something, and then we've used this particular bumper on several builds. The Gate Rover has this bumper just without the, without the big bull bar, I dug out one of the bull bars and I held it up against it, and I was like, I think that's the guy. Like, I mean, it matches the grill line. So it's the Benedict Harry. It's the set for Defender. So you can see just poking out from under the tailgate there. Maybe that's the rear bumper for a Defender, and I will get a close-up here of how the mounts for that look. But I wanted to get a bumper as tight in to the body as I could, so that required complete fabrication of front and rear. I'm not even going to call them bumper mounts; they're more like chassis ends, because I knew the bumpers were going to be in what is essentially a fixed position. So I didn't need the adjustability afforded by a proper bone. I have that feeling. We'll go real slow. Are we going to be all right? I can't tell if this super soft foam's it. Yeah, it's doing that thing again where he's sliding very, very slowly. Turn down, turn down, turn down. Just roll off. Oh! As I had said before, that patina was definitely going to come. So what ended up happening is the rear bumper mount was initially built for Daphne, and you know, it's just a bolt-on operation. There's nothing complex there. It put it at the height and the precise spacing that I wanted it, and it's a very similar operation in the front, only there's a lot less room because of the way the curvature of the TRX4, TRX6 chassis rails. Other than that, he's pretty much in his exact configuration from when he was seen last, because he's getting close to finished. The only thing remaining on the board for Jolly Green is, at the moment, sliders, and I think I have located material on hand to do those, so he will be getting those soon. And as I can't recall if this was covered in one of the previous videos or if I only mentioned it in an Instagram post, there is the I think it's a 1450 kV modified to sit in its normal position. The speed control is exactly as it was. She got her old-timey STRC bumper delete back, and that's about that. I think, aside from, and now I'm really, now I'm thinking the only thing holding Daphne back, period, would be tire. I could go to a higher S battery like a 4S, but the way she's built, that 3S pack, that's what fits. And it's right up against the front of the body. So for the foreseeable future, she will stay on 3S. But I am not ruling out changing the tires. Now, luckily, I seem to have an inability to buy the same tires twice. She is still running cut canyon trails with dollar store hair buns for foams. So I have, you name it. Argentum the Phoenix is sitting on tusks. I've got landmines. I've got Duratrex Deep Woods. I have a number of options to test on her to see like what's gonna work. As I hope you can see, the front shock is now pretty much purely vertical. As I think I mentioned, the wheelbase has been stretched out to 12.5 inches, which does not perfectly fit the body, but it pretty much does perfectly fit the axles. The switch from Air 44s to Air 45s was more work than I thought it would be. There it goes. There it goes. I haven't been anywhere where an ant could get on my hat. And I check my hat for ants every time I put it on. And every time I look up, it's like, see if I can do it with my finger. Ant. Just like that. Like, are they airdropping in? Where do they come from? So knowing that I didn't have a lot of new outdoor content, I just saw this as an opportunity to come out here and wheel these guys for a minute. As I essentially, I didn't show in the photo, but giant steel bar of a bumper has already broken the Traxxas, has cracked the Traxxas bumper mount in the front. So odds are on I'll probably just replace it with plastic again. We gotta have a weak point. Bump test. Yeah, 35 turns real good about it. Yeah, Rusty is a fun wheel. I mean, really is. Limited, but like limited just enough. It's kind of the opposite spectrum from this thing. Whose limitations are as of yet undefined. I think I've gotten it to where I got the bumper in so tight. I think you can see a little bit right there. I think I'm rubbing the bumper, I'm rubbing the front tire at full lock. Yeah. I think it's fine. I don't think it actually impacts the handling in any way. Like for some rigs, making that transition there is an issue. Not so for Jolly Green. Will I make it or will I roll it? Oh, he's gonna make it. He's gonna turn into heaven. Yeah. He can go anywhere, really. Anywhere he wants to go. Daphne will, at some point, perhaps on the weekend, if there are any minutes free, she's going to be running a little tire test. She doesn't have like any sort of wide offset wheel. She doesn't have anything special. These are the wheels she's pretty much been running for a good while now. Well, I should test the 1400 second gear, which I have not done yet. It's nice. I'm thinking also of doing another little radio fandango, because it's nice to have a radio that has a physical, like, high, low. So when I turn this thing on, I leave it in low, she's in low. It's an electronic button on the GT5 that's in Rusty. So every time I turn the radio on, it shifts into high. So here's the trio of the week. 2 2-speeds and a single. No sense in taking them back to the shop clean, right? Yeah, I'd say she's fast enough. The 1400, I feel like it doesn't sound as turbo diesel-y as the 900 did. Well, Jolly Green only has a single to go along with his low-speed control. He also has the absurd 3300, so. Yeah, I definitely did not test to see how close those tires were to the yeah, there's a little bit of contact there. But then the guy who, I mean, could have fit a proper class 1 before a 4.19 definitely can't now. You can see the rear tire is a little bit pushed back in the wheel well, and the front tire's pushed a little bit forward in the wheel well. I had essentially set his wheelbase perfect for a different set of axles, so we are where we are. But with his tiny tires and the minimum pinion and the maximum spur, that 35 turn still gets him up. He would also be much faster with a bigger tire. I like how, I don't know if it's the amperage, the speed control, I don't know, the layout of the gearbox, the relationship between the gearbox and the axles, but like this is, I said drag brake 100%, and like he's got a little rollout because I think it's just no mechanical advantage. So the drag brake doesn't clamp on when he comes to a stop. There they are, now a little more appropriately dusty for this Friday morning. Yeah, those tires are gonna rub, I think, a lot. Yeah, I like that. I like that. It gives you no indication if you take a photo inside. Anyway, that's gonna do it for the week. The graduation party. There'll be one more weekly update before the graduation party, I think. So I hope to get that pile knocked down a little bit more. I hope to move some of those big slabs out here. Not 100% sure where at the moment, but I would like to get them moved somewhere else. And I'm going to try to get the little short list of these guys worked on a little more. And I have a micro servo, so I need to pull that rift all the way apart and get it put together to where it's, and I still got to paint it. I got to paint that interior, I got to mount those heads. The rift really should be the #1 project, but you know, Rusty kind of jumped the line, and then I just like wheeling it. So we will see what the next week holds. This bed isn't quite long enough to perform as a proper heavy wrecker, but you know, you can get the job done in a pinch. So we all out here in the canyon, looking not forward, but looking toward the heat of the oncoming summer. We thank you for watching. Leave a comment below. Subscribe if you haven't. Go watch some old videos. Yeah. I should really figure out how to make an outro work. And you know, it's Memorial Day weekend, so should be a long weekend for everyone. Have a good weekend, everybody. And we'll see you in the next one.